What's up, everybody? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. I need everybody who is watching this video right now to like this video and hit that notification bell because I really need you for this video. This video, we're going to talk about 3 different stories with people with dealing with anxiety when it comes to dealing with their credit and dealing with their debt. It's 3 different stories, and the reason why I want to really make this video, I was gonna make a whole nother video about credit and debt today, but this one just kept grabbing at me. Even when I was going to sleep last night, I was like, I have to talk about this because this is the thing, is that people are so focused. We get focused on credit, we get focused on debt, but something that we don't really realize is that all of that stuff that builds up on the inside of us is a result of the anxieties that we express. And what is anxiety? Anxiety is a story. It's a story that you build up. And see, it's not just about credit, or debt. I can give you some papers. Here's a folder filled with someone's, problems that they're having with credit and debt. I can throw that up in the air and that can belong to anybody. That same situation can belong to anybody. But what makes us unique as individuals, what makes us unique as people is that we have a tendency to build a story about what we're going through on what we believe could happen. So if we look at the board here, we got anxiety and we got credit and debt. Anxiety is building a story that grows daily based off of what you're going through with your current situation. And in these 3 stories, I'm going to tell you exactly what is going on with these individuals so you could see, so this could actually help you deal with it. Because a lot of people, believe it or not, regardless of the help that I can provide to them, when they have these issues of anxiety, it works backwards. It's like they can't do anything to help themselves. They don't believe. Because every day when they go to sleep, all they think about is they have this debt problem. They had this company trying to sue them. They can't pay their bills. They're fighting with their spouse. Their children are looking at them. They have that. And even when a person is trying to help them, they can't accept the help because constantly they're building a story every day. So this is how the story is built. And I'm going to talk about the candy. So anyone that's trying to leave the video right now, you're going to go look at the candy. So I'm going to deal with that real quick. What is candy? Candy is, I'm going to start an LLC so I don't have to use my credit. I'm going to utilize and get $50,000 in credit cards and all of these loans and everything, and you don't even know how you're going to pay the money back. That's candy. That's candy / drugs in the credit and debt business. I'm going to go and get another credit card. I'm going to go and watch a video about how to apply for another credit card. I'm going to go and look at a gimmick letter that I could just pull up that's a gimmick to just kind of put some wrapping paper over the problem, some sheets over the problem, cover them up, even though when you look under the sheets, the problem is still there. Some more candy, a W-2 sandwich. A W-2 sandwich. That's going to be some more candy that I could just go and run after and try to figure out if this stuff is true. And another one, pay all of your bills, all of these bills that you keep making this story about on a daily basis. This is your solution. So you're going to run off to a video and go look and get some more candy, some more drugs to deal with your problem instead of dealing with the problem directly. And the reason why you can't deal with the problem directly is because every day you're building a story based off of you can't pay those bills. What do I look like with people who I don't even want them to know that I can't pay my bills? I'm pretending with my family. I'm pretending even with my spouse. Maybe my spouse don't even know how bad the situation is. What about this? What's going to happen? What is going to happen to me all inward thinking, building a story. What's going to happen to me? What am I going to look like? Am I going to lose my job if they try to garnish me? What is going to happen to me? The next one, what can they do? What is all the things that they could do to me? If they sue me, what can they do? Can they freeze my bank account? Can they put a lien on my house? Are they going to call my boss at my job? Are they going to send papers? Are they going to come to my house and take my stuff? I had a conversation yesterday with a lady, and she was worried about them taking the couch from her house. Taking the couch from her house. These are stories that are built. This stuff is real. This stuff is real. And if we don't deal with it, and the reason why I say we is because I had to deal with it. I had to come to the realization that to deal with my credit and to deal with my debt is not to, number one, let stories just build up. Because when you build up stories that haven't even happened yet, look it up for yourself. What is anxiety? Anxiety is building up stories of stuff that hasn't even happened yet. Or hasn't even happened, or won't even happen. It's just a story in your mind because you are frozen, you are paralyzed. You think that everybody is looking at you, and they're not even looking at you. Like I said, I can take this folder, give you these same situations, give it to this other person, throw it up in the air. They could belong to anybody, but what makes it different? What makes that folder different? Everything that's in that folder different is what you build on that story about that situation. That's what makes it different. That's what makes you go through pain. That's what makes it hard for you to go to sleep at night. That's what makes it hard for you to concentrate. That's what makes it easy for you to run off to something else that's not going to deal with the problem. It's just like taking alcohol and drugs to go and look at this stuff when you're dealing with all of this stuff over here. It's just to put a cover over it. It's just to put a cover over it. So now let's get to the lesson. So I had conversations. It was so busy here yesterday. I had conversations where I just said, let me just jump on the phone to help the customer service team. And there was 3 conversations that I had. And these conversations took a full hour. And guess what? There's hundreds of people that are still in line. And I'm not going to be able to talk to all of them. So I got to make a video like this. And I need your help by liking this video, sharing it, posting comments, everything. Because this is going to help me help more people. And it's not going to be something that's just going to cover up stuff. So the first person that I talked to, young lady, had 4 credit cards. Now, let me tell you how the story builds. Listen to me closely. Let me tell you how the story builds. She called, she has 4 credit card issues, but she didn't mention the 4 when she first started talking to me. She only mentioned 1. The reason why she mentioned 1 is because that 1 was suing her. The 1 is suing her. So if you have 3 debts and they're all just about equal, what one is going to get your attention? The one that is suing you, that has the most, that could do the most damage to you right now. And so the story that went through in her head, I just listened, was number 1, what can they do? What is the worst that they could do? What can happen? Where am I at? What do I have to do? And I was like, if they're suing you, you have to respond to the court summons. Because if you don't respond to the court summons, you're disregarding the court, and you're just going to let them run right over you when you could potentially win with that debt. Now, the thing about it, though, is that this debt collector was the original creditor that is suing. So now that's a whole different type of solution that she would have to go through, because when you had an original creditor that is suing you, a lot of that other stuff goes out of the window that would pertain to a third-party debt collector. So with her having that understanding and her understanding where she was at, she's dealing with, number 1, she's a mother of a special needs child. She's married. Husband has good credit. So what's the story already that's building up with her daily? Is that she don't want to do anything to take away her time from her child. She knows that she's a wife. She has to take care of her husband, be with her husband. She has to be there for her husband, not just there as a body, like not having an attitude, being able to talk to someone without them seeming like they're lost in the wilderness somewhere because they're thinking about what they're going through. Another thing that she expresses that her husband has good credit. She don't want to mess up her husband's good credit. So that's running through her mind. I'm the one that's the problem. You have the good credit. So what is it doing? The anxiety has her attention looking inward on her like she's the problem, when all you have to do is take away that story and deal with the problem. When you're dealing with the problem, I said, all you have to do is you have to respond. And I'm going to keep these short. You could go to my other videos on exactly what to do, but you got to respond to the lawsuit. You have to. And then with the other 3 cards, after she told me what was going on with them, I said, well, what do you want in the end? What do you want in the end? Let's not let the anxiety write the story. Tell me what you want in the end. She said, I just want to be able to pay those at a payment that I can afford. That was what she wanted. And I talk about this in my other videos about your solution to getting out of your debt and credit problem could be totally different than someone else's based off of what's right here. What is right here? Your heart, on your temperament, on what you can go through as an individual. Some people can't go through the same type of pain to get to somewhere that other people can go through. Some people say, if I could just work out payment arrangements, I'm fine. I don't want to go to court. I don't want to fight. I don't want to do none of that stuff. And those people who think that way, there is nothing wrong with that, because that's where you're at. Remember, we're not trying to cover it up with candy. We're not trying to cover it up with other stuff. We're trying to look at and solve the problem, and your problem is individualized for you. We don't want to build and add to your anxiety. So what she did, she actually solved this problem in one day. In one day, by getting focused. In one day, she went and she got payment arrangements with all of them. They stopped the lawsuit. Payment arrangements with all of them that she could afford to be able to move forward. And it's all solved in one day. The next one, had a gentleman call me, business owner, 2 credit cards, very high balances. The company that they're with is Amex, and I told him, let me tell you from experience, Amex, what they're going to do is that they're going to hire their own firm. They already have a firm that's going to be calling you to go after the debt. And until they're charged off, they're going to try to just work out arrangements. And he just listened to me on that stuff, and then he just came out and started telling me, hey, you're right about this. I was in their payment plan. I couldn't pay it. I haven't been paying it for a few months now. And he said, now they have this company calling me. And he was like, you're right. This company is calling me. And I said, also, did you know that company can also start calling your family, friends, relatives that you had on the application? And an original creditor can do that legally. They cannot disclose exactly what is going on, but they can try to get in contact with you. He said, you're right. They called my father, and my father said, what's going on? And I told him what's going on, that business is slow. I can't make these payments. So his story is, how can I make it through this? I don't want to lose nothing with my business. That's what's going through his mind. He called to try to resolve what could go on with the debt. But really, the story that's building up inside of him, I know this. I went through this as a business owner. I've helped hundreds of business owners that are in that situation or even worse. I know what's going through. What's going through, the story that's being built in his mind right now is, can American Express take my business? That's the story. Can American Express take my business? What can American Express do? And I told him, number one, don't worry about what American Express can do. I could tell you what they could do if that wants to alleviate. But what you need to think about is what you want to do. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to save your business? Do you think that this is going to bounce back up for you? And he said, yes, I believe that business is going to jump back up. I'm very proficient in my business, and that is just a downturn, which that happens with business. It goes up and down. So I said, what you got to do is, number one, you got to open up the communications with American Express. Open it up. Take the calls. Because if you take the calls from them, it's going to hold them off from suing you. And I know from experience with American Express, when they first start, once it's charged off, once the account is charged off, and the account is charged off because he logged into his account and it won't even accept payments anymore. So it is completely charged off, which is taken off of their performing accounts books. And no matter what, you could not pay that account that way with American Express. You would have to be paying it with the collections company that they have it with. So from experience, American Express, after the account is charged off, they will usually start after they go through all the trying to do payments and all that stuff, they will usually authorize right off the bat a 75% settlement on whatever your balance is. Now, that's extremely high with the accounts that I've dealt with. Some of them has been as high as $50, $60, $70, $80,000 per card. So if you're struggling, that's going to still be very difficult. Some people are able to do it, but most business, even with the businesses, they're not able to do it because they're going to be like, hey, I need to use that money for other stuff in the business. So this is what has to happen, but he is building this story in his mind of what might happen. And I said, this is what you need to focus on, is you need to focus on opening up the communications with American Express. And you need to tell them exactly what is going on again, because he did it before, but now they have this other company that they utilize for collections, and you need to get that story into their heads and keep the communications open and tell them that they need to call you each month to see how your situation is going to change. If you don't, American Express is going to think that you're hiding money and they're going to sue you. That's what's going to happen. They're going to sue you. You need to express your hardship to them. Maybe you get a 1099-C. You never know. But regardless, you need to go through that process. That's the story you need to be building, not the story about, oh, they're going to come and take this. They're going to sue me, all of that. So that hasn't happened yet. Focus on what you can control right now. Don't build the story. Whatever they do is what they're going to do, but don't build to that story, because all that's going to do is jump your anxiety. That's going to have you not being able to sleep. And guess what he said? He said, Steve, I can't even sleep that good. I'm worried about this all the time. You know, some of the times when I had a conversation and talk to people, like, that is just as good. Like, I should charge the fee for my service that I would charge people. I could charge that amount on that call, and every one of those people would feel good about it. Every one of those people would feel good about it. I give it away here on YouTube for free. Sometimes I don't even know why I do that, because some people, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if I should even always do this, that maybe I should just change it and say, you pay for a service, and you can listen to me on maybe it'll be on the platform on my website. Sometimes I think that way. So I told him, this is what you got to do. And the longer that you can extend it, and this is from experience, 1 to 2 years out, they will be as low as 25% on that. But see, the thing is that he's going to have to go through that for a year. And he said, well, what if I don't want to take the phone calls? I said, well, you can hire us as a company. We can take all the phone calls and we can do all of the settlement, transfer the settlement requests from you to them. And it would be like you have a third party. So you have Amex here. You have the credit repair shop here. You have Amex's collector here, and you have you right here. And anything that you say, we send here, they send here, they send here, they send here, They send here. It just depends on where you're at right here. I asked him, where are you at right here? Do you want to just be running your business and not worrying about this? Because we would take the calls. We would tell them what's going on because they're going to call. So where are you at right here? What is your temperament? What is your mindset? What can you go through? Because when they make that call to you and they say what is going on, they're not going to just call nice. They're going to put pressure on you. And it's going to raise your anxiety. And they may insinuate something that can make your anxiety level go up, even though there's no reason for you to worry. So where are you at right here? That's what I asked him. And he's making a decision on that right now. The next one is there was a senior citizen. Senior citizen has bad credit, has been working on her own credit. But she got a call from a collector. And she's not even sure if this account was hers. And we said, number one, you got to make sure that this account is yours. And the other thing that I said is that, are you sure you want to work on your credit? Because, see, I'm not here to just say that you should be caring about your credit because I said so, because I'm a credit repair company. I'm going to push you to not worry so much about your credit unless you need to have that to secure yourself in a more comfortable situation as a senior. Because as a senior, what type of stuff are you going to really go out there and buy utilizing credit? I mean, you know, if you got your a house and, you know, a place to live and all that stuff, and you're living comfortably, there's really nothing that they could do to you. I don't think you really need our service. But then after she talked about it, this is what she wants, and people should be able to get what they want. And so I listened, and I listened very closely, and one of the things that happened, and she started crying when she was talking, because they said that they're going to come. Well, they didn't even say. They sent a letter. And in that letter, it stated that they were going to come to take personal property. And they were listing stuff, personal type property. They even said, we know that we can't take anything from you because you get Social Security. So we can't even touch that. So on that letter, what did they do? They raised her anxiety level. And she was like, are they going to come and take my couch? Can they take my couch? I don't have a car anymore, so they can't take my car. What are they going to be able to do? They raised that anxiety. She's building and writing that story in her mind. I'm just telling you, this is the truth. She started crying. She was in tears about this. And there's no way that a person would be in tears over just the information that would be about the credit. It's because of the story that she's built about what could happen to her from her having those credit issues. So it's not just about what's on that paper. It's about what you build in that anxiety that builds up on the inside of you, that story that you allow to keep growing every day. You go to sleep, you dream about it, you can't sleep, you imagine it. You don't want people to know what you're going through. You're wondering what's the worst that could happen. All of that stuff just continues to grow, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the solution. All it is a story that you keep building, and you got to stop allowing that story to be built. So with her, I said, number one, they cannot take your personal property. They can, no matter what, they're not going to be able to take your personal property. But to even back it up more, I said, I'm going to do the research for your particular state, and I'm going to let you know what they can and cannot do. It doesn't matter what they put on that paper. They can always put that on the paper about personal property because they want to see maybe you have something that is of extreme value that they can come and take. This is what they're going to do. This is what they're going to do. But for the senior, this is stuff that she doesn't need to be worrying about. And then another thing that she had an extreme buildup of anxiety over was that she was like, nothing has been working to repair her credit. And when she talked about what was going on, like I said, well, tell me, what have you done? And I listened. And this is the common theme of what she was doing wrong and what I see so many people across the whole industry doing wrong, and what I see people who try to repair their credit doing wrong. But the reason why they do it the wrong way is because they are afraid to make that confrontation with the people who have put that information on their credit report. They want to do it in a roundabout way. They want to say, okay, send it to the Bureau. The Bureau is supposed to send it over to them. Bureau doesn't always send it over to them. And then they say that it was should stay on their credit reports. Why would you continue doing that when you could say, okay, I'm going to send it to the people who put it on the credit reports. Tell me why you're going to keep it on the credit reports, and use the different strategies and every tool that you can put in the box to go directly at them on why they should be able to keep the information on your credit reports. That's the straight line way to do it. When she talked about what she had did, and she had built up this huge story that there's nothing that can be done, she did it all. And now she's reaching out to someone that she thinks that she could trust to do it. And I said, well, tell me what you did. And what she did is she never went at it the right way when she wasn't getting the result that she wanted. She just kept doing the same thing. If there's, among different things that I advise you to do, but this is the one of the number one things that you got to do when you're trying to repair your credit, is that you got to go directly at the people, the companies who place the information on your credit reports. And you utilize every tool in the box to get the information removed. So if you have a charge off from an original creditor, the original creditor sold it to a debt collector. The original creditor accepted payment for your account. If you were to, let's just say that you were dealing with the original creditor, and the original creditor said, okay, we want to settle your account for 10 cents. Would that account be settled? If it was for 10 cents, would it be settled? And it would be settled for less, right? So at minimum, it should be put on there, paid for less, settled, paid for less. Maximum result would be to just go ahead and remove it, because it's foolish to leave that information on there. You know that eventually you're going to want to give an individual credit again, because you're in the business of giving out credit. So you can let the cycle go through, like American Express said, that after an account goes bad and you pay it and you settle it, that 30 to 60 days later, you can apply for a whole nother American Express card and potentially get approved, because they're in the business of selling money. They're not in the business of blocking people from being able to get these cards. So I hope that you like this video. This is 3 different stories, 3 different people trying to get to the same place, but they allowed anxiety to build up different stories within them. And sometimes those stories can paralyze people from being able to take action. They look at it a different way. They think that everything is focused and looking at them, when all you are, especially when dealing with debt collection companies, is just a number. That's all you are to them. So why focus and build a story for them when you can build a story for yourself? And the story is, you need to go after ways to look at solutions for what's going on. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch video, what makes us different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com. Grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports, and all 3 scores going to have all the information that you need to be able to repair your credit. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations letter, cease and desist collection activities letter, and debt validation letter. And I'm going to let you know that there is a cease and desist communications letter line in the cease and desist collection activities letter. So you would be able to stop them from communicating except for in writing. In a way, you're just putting everything on hold until they can get you all the information that they need to get you. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.